Step into the world of the Superpro Podcast, where we lay out the blueprints of home service excellence. Join us as we break down the wins and struggles of pros who are at the top of their game. Put their wisdom into practice as you build your company's success.
Fun. Welcome to the Superpro Podcast, the heartbeat of home service excellence. I am Roland Ligtenberg, your host and co-founder of Housecall Pro. I'm an advocate for all those hardworking pros out there helping make our homes safer, better, more comfortable. Through Housecall Pro, I've had the privilege of supporting hundreds of thousands of pros just like you, empowering you all to achieve more, stress less, and achieve success in the industry. Today, I am super excited. This is the first time I'm interviewing 3 pros all at once. It's the family team of Tony, Jordan, and Tyson Martinez. They are up in Arizona, and they're part of State 48 Garage Doors. State 48, you guys have been really becoming a go-to garage door company in Arizona. In 2.5 years, you guys are going to be on track to hit 1.5 million in revenue this year, which is super fast. You guys 6 employees, two vehicles just out on the road, running routes all day. I'm super excited to get the chance to interview you guys and learn some of your tips and tricks. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what caused you guys to go like, all right, we're getting together, the 3 of us, we're doing a garage door company. What was like the story? Tell us that, because this is super interesting, and I'd love to learn more about the genesis story here.
Man. A few years ago, got into junk removal, and I was doing that for a while. Went into a B&I meeting. Took a look at that opportunity. I thought I was going to do that for junk removal. Didn't really see that was going to work out. And then we jumped into somebody had talked about needing a garage door company, somebody that was good, somebody that was reputable. And after that, I just took it from there. I basically came back, had my son Tyson, was at just looking for different opportunities. Was looking at a trade, and I just talked to him. I was like, "Hey, you want to go learn how to fix garage doors?" And he said, "Yeah, let's do it." So that was really the start of it 2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago. And so what was it like? Because I feel like a lot of folks, especially getting into the trades, have a little bit of imposter syndrome, when they're first getting started, like, who am I to start a company? Who am I to fix garage doors? Like, how did you guys do that and get started? For all the pros that are kind of listening, like, wait, what? They just decided to get up and do this? Like, that sounds pretty wild.
I just jumped into it. I did a couple things, right? I did the research. I took a look. Unfortunately, in the garage door industry, the bar is low. Meaning it's chucking a truck out there with very, it's not professional. So I'm like, hey, if we do this and we show up branded, we answer the phone, we respond, that's going to set us way above what the standard, what I felt was the standard in the industry. And that's the only experience that I've had with other garage door companies. So I just saw that as an opportunity. I knew I had, my son's a hard worker. He's a fast learner. And that I was like, I think we could do this. And so we did. I mean, that's we just said, we'll figure it out. We'll go out there, we'll do it.
So here you are, you're on track to hit 1.5 million in revenue this year, just in 2.5 years. So obviously you taking the leap has paid off for you guys. You guys are up to 6 employees now. Like, how are you guys thinking about growing your team? Are you hiring people without experience, kind of like yourselves when you started, and then training them up? Or are you able to source people that actually have been doing kind of garage door installation, service, repair, maintenance, kind of stuff?
The first guy we hired right away, he's got 10 years in the industry. He was a solid guy. He was, again, looking at the opportunity to join a company that's growing, and his ultimate goal was to get out of the truck, right? He knew he wasn't going to be able to do it alone. If he did, he was going to be in the truck for a while. So said, hey, grow with us, help us grow, and we'll get you out of the truck as soon as we can. So that's where we started. We've got a couple guys that we're looking at right now to bring on, and those are going to be more training guys. But we're looking for high quality, high character guys. If they don't know how to fix garage doors, it's okay. We'll teach them, and then but we just need guys that are that share the same values that we do. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty common too, just within successful businesses is, a lot of people are like, well, I can't find any other window cleaners in my area, that are good, or I can't find any other garage door people. Like, I'm looking for 3 years or 5 years of experience, and they struggle. But what you're telling me and what I see within a lot of these businesses is you're really hiring for that attitude, that trustworthiness, their face skills with customers, and their curiosity to learn and go pick up a tool and just try something new. Where are you like, from a sourcing perspective, like where does this come from? Is this something where you're like sourcing on like Indeed? Are you just meeting? These are people within your network. Obviously you started kind of like on the family side, which is, kind of like a great hack, but not everyone else has got, the family composure to be able to handle something like that.
No, I think it's really just talking to people, right? I've shared, we haven't posted anything. I don't think we posted any.
We haven't advertised any kind of job listings or anything, but people have seen us on social media, found us on Google and stuff, and reached out about wanting to become garage door techs if we would train them and stuff like that. But as far as the people that we've found so far, it's mostly been from networking, from talking with other people in the industry around here, and just family, friends, BNIs, and grow the network like that.
Yeah. And so as you're growing, I feel like a lot of pros run into struggles with, getting someone to like answer the phone. Obviously you guys started with a little squadron here, but at what point did kind of the phone calls get to a point where, let's have someone else like Housecall Pro Assist, like help with that?
Oh, man, that was probably the beginning of this year. And what I took a look at was over the last 6 months of last year, I think we missed like 300 calls. And when you're
oh wow,
a lot of calls that we missed. So, and that was us trying to do it in-house. So when you just take a look at what it costs you to get the phone to ring, how many of those you can actually convert, and then how much money you're losing, it's a no-brainer. Right. So we hired somebody right away. Once I saw those numbers, almost fell out of my chair and just was it hurt. So we got somebody started answering the phones. The number of missed calls went way down. Our call conversion is pretty good. We got different tracking to see what the call conversion is, and then what the text conversion is as well. So
as well as
yeah, and so you guys are using like Housecall Pro Voice, like inside of the Housecall Pro app. What brought you to even like implement that? Did you implement that right out of the gate, or was that kind of like in line with when you're like, oh crap, there's 300 missed opportunities, that I should have like implemented?
Yeah, we did. So we implemented Voice last year. Because before I think Tyson was answering quite a bit, since he was the only one going out for jobs, so he would schedule them. But then we got Voice. I think it was towards the beginning of last year. So it's been about a year and a half of using it, and that was so that way a couple of us could answer the phone. That Tyson wouldn't have to worry about it anymore, since he was the one out in the truck doing the work. So I was answering the phone a little bit. You were answering the phone a little bit. My mom was answering the phone a little bit, but it just allowed us to all share it. And that's when we started implementing some of the call tracking numbers to see different calls coming in from Google Ads, or from our magazine ads, or whatever. And the nice thing of just having that from being on a cell phone before bringing that phone number into Housecall Pro and everything is when people call in and they're an existing customer, their profile pops right up, so it's super easy to see where they're at. If we have a job scheduled for them, or if they're a new customer, it pulls that form right up, and we can jump into it right there. So that's been great for us after just a little over a year of work, or a year in the business. Did we implement that?
Yeah. Well, so, you kind of mentioned too, your guys' mom is answering phones, and this is like really the family business. Let's talk about the dynamics. So like, how many times a week do you guys get into like either like an argument or a disagreement? And then how do you guys like resolve that? Because you guys are all kind of smiling and laughing, but I feel like a lot of family run or family owned businesses like fall into these, and it's always good to talk about.
We don't argue. These guys are perfect sons, perfect employees, and they just do it as no, joking. I mean, it gets it's one of these things where it's a balance, right? You got to keep family and business separate, but it's the same because we're at the family dinner table. It's business almost all the time, but understanding what the goal is, right? One of the other things that we jumped in with this was set this up with the end goal, right? Whether that's to sell or pass it along to these guys, and and so that they can make a good living at it. So with that being in mind, when we do get into some heated conversations, it's all right, bring it back. What's the goal? How do we achieve the goal? And keep going forward with it, because if the last thing I want to do is to ruin the family. But if you have the goal in mind, it's going to be hard work, and just tackle it that way. I don't know.
I feel like that's a great golden nugget, which is just like a common mission, common values, common goals, and just bringing it back to the basics, especially if things get a little heated, is a great way to get everyone oriented around why you guys are even starting and working, in this space together as a family. And I feel like, often people go down the rabbit hole and they're trying to like win a side or win an argument, but in reality, you're all fighting for the same thing, and then it's like, come on, guys. And it's an easy way to kind of like probably push that reset button, and either take some time and reset, or just reset right then and there. It's because like, oh yeah, of course, that's the same goal. We want to maximize, I don't know, conversion rate. Maybe Jordan's better on the phone than Tyson, so don't let Tyson answer the freaking phone. You know what I mean? And then boom, all of a sudden the conversation's over, right? You can kind of bring data to the table too, but it's all around that common goal, which is great. Tell me a little bit about sort of, you guys are really fast at implementing stuff. And I feel like not a lot of other companies, I think other companies take a little more, conservative or like measured approach. If it ain't broke, don't fix it mindset. But you guys don't mind breaking stuff. You guys don't mind implementing stuff really fast, especially if it doesn't work right out of the gate. Like, how do you guys do that? And maybe give like an example of that where someone went either really well or went wrong first and then went really well. I'd love to kind of hear that.
But that's me. That is. This is probably why we get into some of those heated conversations. Right. Hey, we're going to start a garage door company, and 2 weeks later we got an LLC, and we're up and running. 2 months later, we've done our first job. So it is go hard, go fast, and let's figure it out. Right. We got to go get it done. If it's the wrong way, I'd rather know it's the wrong way faster than later. If you're going to sit back and wait, you're just going to watch. You're going to be watching the paint dry, right? Let's go out there and get this done. The example was right when I found out we were missing those 300 calls. We hired a VA, signed a 5-month contract with them. Probably wasn't the right VA to get on board, but we stuck it out for those 5 months, and then once those 5 months were coming up, we got someone else on board. Conversion rate shot up. We're in the high 80s already with our conversion rate. So just knowing that something has to be done to keep moving forward, right? So
implementing it perfectly.
Yeah.
Just keep trying.
Yeah, and that was one of the things too that I heard probably early on was I need to be the implementer of implementation, right? So I don't have the answers. I don't have all the answers, but we're going to try this and we're going to figure it out as we go. If not, I mean, we've got an aggressive goal. So you got to go. You got to make a decision but when you got a team of people with you too, it's a lot easier. So
for sure, yeah, I think I hear it all the time too. Successful companies always have a bias for action, and there's no failure. It's only failure if you don't end up learning from it. And so because you're moving so fast, because you have the momentum, you're going to get to the right answer before the next person's even done like theory crafting it in their head, and you're going to learn. What about like marketing strategies? You guys got to a considerable revenue number in a very short amount of time. What kind of freaking marketing strategies are you guys throwing out there to generate that kind of cash that quickly?
That's on my side. So
I give them the instruction. I need the phone to ring. I need it to ring a lot.
And bring more and more, more and more each month. But I would say, it definitely started from the beginning. I had a little bit of experience with some like social media marketing and graphic design kind of stuff, but I remember just after we first decided that we were going to do this, we're like, okay, we need a name. And I remember we were watching a Cardinals game at Cold Beers and Cheeseburgers and just like writing a list of names down and just narrowed it down eventually to State 48 Garage Doors. And I think that was the first part that helped us with our branding and making a good decision with the name. And there's a lot of companies here that are State 48 something, but it shows that we're local. It shows that we're proud to be here in Arizona, that we're their neighbors. That was a big thing. And from there, just the biggest things for marketing for us has been our organic growth online. We were doing networking and stuff with BNI that kept us alive the first year. But as far as last year, the biggest things that we needed to change and growing was our online presence. We were doing that with our website. I learned SEO from YouTube videos and TikTok and Instagram, just different influencers explaining SEO practices. Implemented a lot of stuff onto our website. We started doing Google ads. And then another thing last year, the summertime last year in June, we had started on social media, posting regularly. We posted every day actually till the end of the year. And then this year we posted every day except for Sundays. But and so far this year, actually, I think it was this year, we were over 30 million impressions on social media and 15,000.
Wow. And what kind of content are you like coming up with? Like, what are you doing besides like dancing on the screen and like doing stuff, the garage doors? Like, what's going on? What's your strategy there?
It's a little bit of everything. We highlight our Google reviews first off. We understand that we're not going to people don't go onto social media to get their garage door fixed, really. Unless it's like Facebook groups, which we're active in those. But as far as the content that we post, it's all geared towards brand awareness. We want the content that's going to see the most people, even if they're not in Arizona, because if more people are seeing it in general, then more people in Arizona are going to be seeing it. So a lot of our content is geared towards showcasing our reviews, showcasing different work that we've done, and then just making it exciting. Like, we're not just posting pictures of a spring. We're taking a video, doing some cool editing and stuff with AI and all the different softwares out there. Make it so quick. If you just spend a little bit of time in it, and I think it's more of those videos and they're designed to be entertaining. So we use familiar kind of videos or trends that are going on TikTok and Instagram and stuff. And, I'll be scrolling and I see a video and I'm like, oh, this has a million views. I was like, how can I make this video but for garage doors? And then just think of our different scenarios and different things like that. And that's kind of our.
I love that golden nugget, which is like you see other trends or other things, and it's like, well, how could I do that for garage doors? And I think a lot of folks are like, I'm not creative, and it's like you don't have to be creative. You just have to be really good at copying someone else and just like changing it just a little bit. And if you can do that over and over again, at some point it's going to work. And I think the other thing that people didn't catch, which you kind of glossed over, but is a big deal, is like you're super consistent. And I feel like a lot of people, they'll give up. They'll be like, I don't know, I tried it. I did 4 reels or I did whatever. And it just like, I didn't get me anything. It didn't get me any jobs. But like it takes that consistency and just keep doing that. And that's very difficult to do. But that is the way that you start to unlock this stuff. Because not only is it just practice for you too, but the platforms love seeing people that are just engaged in being a creator, right? Rather than just viewers. And so I think you've done a really good job of that. That's hard to do. That is not easy, and I can imagine. What are the tools right now that you're liking, that you're using for those pros that are out there? Like, whoa, you said AI tools. Like, what are tools that you're using right now?
I mean, definitely ChatGPT is a big one, and then I built our own GPT on there that is trained on everything about garage doors and State 48 garage doors. So you can customize ChatGPT so that way when I ask it to write a caption or a blog post, it doesn't just write a generic thing. It writes it tailored to us, makes it sound like us, which is perfect. Another big one is Video Leap for just making entertaining kind of videos. You just pick a bunch of different videos and it will edit them all for you into one video. So it's good for like our projects, showcasing installing a garage door. So those would be like the social media kind of ones. And then as far as like the website and our Google business profile are our biggest contributors of where most customers find us is organically on Google. And that's from doing SEO, from doing blog posts. We use a tool called Search Atlas for doing our SEO. And then on our website, and then for our Google business profile, we use Local Viking to optimize our Google business profile.
Yeah, those are some great tools. And what I find amazing is like you guys are essentially doing what marketing agencies do, but you're doing it all in-house. So, there's companies that spend thousands and thousands of dollars a month on that, but it sounds like you're the go-to guy that's just spinning up all this stuff. You guys figured out a cool way to work together as a team, where there's, producing the top of the funnel, the leads, getting the phone to ring, to then actually producing and doing the work, right? And Tyson getting under the garage doors and making those things hum again, work again. I guess they don't hum, HVACs hum. So what are some features? I mean, you guys have been using Housecall Pro. At what point in your business did you use it? Did you use it right out of the gate, or did it take a second and then you started getting busy and then you're like, now I'm going to implement it?
Yeah, we started the first year. We were Excel, Google Calendar for probably the first 6-8 months. But it wasn't too much. But we went to a conference, and then after that, I'm like, dude, if we want this thing to grow as much as we're going to, that's when we took a look at the different options, and Housecall Pro was the one that was going to meet all of our needs right away.
What was it about Housecall Pro where you're like, oh yeah, okay, we're going with that one? Was there something specific, or was it because it did so many things? Like, what was that like moment? Do you remember that moment?
I think it was just tracking. Right? It was the tracking, the database, keeping everything together, the price point. It meant all the stuff that we were looking for. I was a little familiar. I used a different software for the junk removal company I have. So I was looking for something that could do something similar. When I saw this, I'm like, man, this checks way more boxes, keeps us organized, and definitely help us grow as fast as we did.
And what's like, a lot of people are like, well, is there one feature that you really think is driving a lot of it? Is it all of them? Is there something that you're like, oh man, we should just use this like right out of the gate? It's a feature maybe that you're using now that you didn't use in the beginning.
I'd say probably, I'd probably say just the reporting part. Even when you're smaller and doing a couple jobs a week, you don't know what your revenue is per week. You don't know how much it's costing your company each day or what your conversion rates are. Then, if you're not paying attention and tracking those things in the beginning, or to see them, and there's so much to track, but we're just starting somewhere. We had small goals or not, I don't know about small goals, but like we had goals of just like, okay, we want to hit 20,000 in revenue this month. And that was like our only goal, and that was all we were tracking. And now we're looking at, all right, we want to hit this much revenue per tech per week, and that should be an average ticket of this with this much of profit margin, and where are our jobs coming from, how many calls are we getting. So there's a lot more stuff that we track now. But I think starting with the tracking in the beginning, and building up more and more, it just helps you get the vital signs of your business. So that way you can actually know what you need to work on to improve. Otherwise, you're just going to keep running in circles.
Yeah. I think you guys do a good job. Even you guys said it earlier, is like, you got a common goal. And so if you're able to all know the number to that common goal, it helps even more. And as your business matures, there's going to be more numbers for sure that you want to like try to optimize and tweak, because there's more people and there's more things. But just being able to see that on a daily basis, a weekly basis, whatever it is important.
Yeah.
Tell me about something where you're like, all right, this is something that Housecall Pro does, but I don't think enough pros use this, or they don't know about it.
I know I do more of the back end stuff with it, but I think the webhooks and Zapier integrations has been helpful. And that's I think getting into a lot more complexity. But because of that, we're able to send out a presentation to a customer before we even get there, for the customer to go through, to learn a little bit about us, see what services we offer, see all the awards that we've won and stuff like that. And I was able to do that from an integration through webhooks and just different things like that. Even Zapier to help us to have all of our pictures in one place. Anything that's attached to a job, our pictures get uploaded into a Google Drive in one place. That way, when it comes to making social media and content and stuff like that for the website, it's all there for me to grab. That's things that it's super nice that you're able to customize it and kind of build it a little bit how you want it. There's already so much that's built well and already there for you. But if you need it to do something else, there's probably a way to do it with simple tools like webhooks or Zapier.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of pros that are like, all right, what the hell, a hook? Like, I'm not a pirate. What the heck are we even talking about? And Zapier, it sounds like we're fencing or something. Like, I thought they only did that in France. But for those that are listening, like, this is a ways where you can connect Housecall Pro to other tools, and kind of like think of it as like a language or a translator, right? Where it allows Housecall Pro to talk to other places, because the reality is you're probably using different tools, or like you mentioned, there's probably other different things like you guys do that's unique. Like sending out a presentation before you guys even arrive, so the homeowner knows like what to expect, who you guys are, the quality of the company you guys are, the awards you guys have won, like building that social proof. So when you walk in the door, Tyson's going to have a much easier conversation because it's not a sale. They're already like, oh, okay, I know this company's legit. They've won a bunch of awards. He's just recommending some options and the customer's picking. So it's less about the selling, but it's doing a bunch of that legwork up front that helps that. Not taken away from Tyson's selling ability, of course, but those things all together, they definitely mix. And I think for pros that want to learn more, there's a bunch of folks in the Housecall Pro community too that help with that. So if you're like, oh, you know what, I don't have someone on my team that even knows what was just said. Like, how can I get some help? But there's folks inside the Housecall Pro group, and obviously there's a ton of TikToks and YouTube videos out there on how to stitch stuff together. But really the power of Housecall Pro isn't just Housecall Pro itself, but the ability to go like customize it to make it unique, to what you guys have to offer. So what's one thing that, you guys thought about? You guys Superpro 2023, now you guys are Superpro 2024. Like, what is kind of that community? Why is that important? What do you guys think about it? What made you guys become Superpros?
So that was, I said for the biggest motivator for me was really getting access to the beta trials, the different new features that are going to be coming out, that are being tested with the Superpros, which just ties back to our culture of wanting to implement fast. Like, I see a feature, that you guys are working on, and I'm like, okay, we need that now. Like, even if it's not perfect, like, let's try it and let's work on it and implement it. So the beta trials has definitely been one of the big things to test stuff out there. And then just popping questions into the Facebook group, being able to network there for how they structure Housecall Pro, or even if for other parts of the business, how they have stuff set up, or I see people put their new truck wraps, or they're trying to decide between two, and they ask the community which one they think would look better, and stuff like that. So definitely the community aspect too, and just being able to learn more about how other people are using Housecall Pro, because you can use it so many different ways.
Yeah, that's right. I think, obviously, as we're building Housecall Pro, we're not using it day to day. And so it's awesome to be able to ask other folks that are using Housecall Pro day to day in their business, and how they customize it, or do they have like some other workflow or advanced workflow or workaround, whatever you call it. Or like, what ways have you customized it? But then it's more than just about Housecall Pro. It's like you mentioned too, which could be like, what truck wrap do you like better, A or B? Or like, does anyone have an employee handbook? Or, whatever those other questions are. It's a great place to just crowdsource a bunch of feedback from folks that, they might be in your city, but often are in other places, right? And there's no competition. It's really a kind of rising tides lift all boats kind of mentality. So we've already hit the 30-minute mark. I knew this was going to happen. What is like maybe some tips or words of encouragement, or anything you want to pitch or talk about here? Kind of, this is like last, and there's three of you, so you guys can each say something if you want. But to wrap this up, this is kind of like the golden nugget time here.
I just know as from the technician side of it, getting Housecall Pro in was a day and night difference from pen and paper writing invoices. It does make stuff a lot easier, getting the text out, getting the presentation. It makes our job easier on the text as far as selling, and just keeping everything organized, everything into one place, and just one spot to refer back to. So. That's awesome. What you got?
My biggest contribution here is technology and marketing. So it's AI it's already been here for a year now. So if that's something that hasn't been implemented into the business, it needs to be as soon as possible. And really anything with technology needs to be implemented as soon as possible. And I understand some of it's expensive, or different things like that. Obviously, like paying for Housecall Pro rather than pen and paper is a little bit more, but the amount of ROI that you can get on some of these things it's way over 10, 20 times the return on investment. So, I would say definitely like trying to stay up to date on technology stuff, marketing and what's trending, understanding your marketing and technology efforts. How are things actually helping the business, and how does everything tie back to the ultimate goal of, what our yearly revenue goal is, or different things like that.
I love it. All right. Last but not least, so it's all going to fall on your shoulders to close it out here.
Honestly, the things that I love best is that I can look at the tech numbers and what they're doing. I can look at CSR numbers and what they're doing, and I can also track marketing efforts. So I've been able to track all that in one system to get all that data to make the best decisions possible as quick as possible to hit some very aggressive goals is the beauty of what we're doing with Housecall Pro. I'm